Quarantine. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. So my advice always, especially dealing in root work, make protection work your first priority. Keep your roads open, keep your roads cleared, and make that your first priority. I also want to, I'm gonna get up and get some salt. I'm gonna use some regular salt and show y'all, because when I talk about, like, you know, laying your salt down and stuff, I feel like like sometimes people think you got to have a pile of salt in the corners of your home. Again, the thing with the road openers is making sure all avenues is protected, all gateways is cleared. So you laying your salt down and protecting your threshold. You put salt and coins down in the four corners of your home, right? So not in the four corners of every room. You don't have to. You can for extra if you want to, but the four corners of every home. And you don't need much, y'all. Just a sprinkle. Just a sprinkle. Just a sprinkle. If you have like a I got one of those, what you call it? The hand turner things, you know what I'm talking about. I got a hand turner thing, okay? Get your minds out the gutter, okay? I caught it when after I did it, okay? If you got one of the natural things, you know what I'm saying? That you turn, you just need a couple turns, and then next thing, okay? You just need a couple turns and that's it. But that's you don't need piles and piles and piles. Y'all so foolish. You don't need piles and piles and piles of salt in every corner. I feel like, folks think that they got to lay down pounds of salt. It's not that. Just a little sprinkle. Like, even when you do it at your threshold, only thing I was gonna say, even when you do that at your threshold, you shouldn't even be able to really see it that much, because it's not that. You literally just, that's it. You shouldn't be able to see it. I did my salt, I did my cinnamon. You could barely see it, but it's there. I laid like a nice little fine line out. Now, the only thing that you usually can see very heavy, and that's because it's smudge, is that casserilla. Y'all know that casserilla, you could see that casserilla heavy. You know, that casserilla, it has that chalkiness to it. It's the ground eggshells. It has that chalkiness to it. So you could see that heavy. But for the most part, you shouldn't even really be able to, see like your salt and your cinnamon and stuff. I'm plugging my laptop up, y'all, so it doesn't die on you guys. There we go. But yeah, so you shouldn't be able to see it that heavy. But just again, let the main focus of your root work be keeping your roads open and protecting yourself. Don't be so fixated on somebody putting a curse on you, somebody doing something evil to you, somebody doing bad to you. If you are protected, nothing or nobody can touch you. When you're doing your roads is open, all blessings is coming to you. So your roads is open, your roads is cleared, all blessings is coming to you. And then your path is protected. So you don't have to worry about anybody doing anything to you. Now, God forbid you do feel like something is on you, then yeah, you could go forward and do some reversal things. Like I said, you could, burn your black candle. You could write your reversal spell or your reversal prayer, put it under the black candle, melt it down. You could do a reversal jar with the bay leaves. Bay leaves are good for dispelling. Always keep some bay leaves, because bay leaves are good for dispelling. This, you got a back door, a balcony, and something. You let the black candle burn outside, okay? So you get one of those tall candle, like the pillar glass candles, empty that out. You get you a smaller black candle, place that in the center of there, and put some bay leaves and some stuff around, some bay leaves, some rosemary around it. Set that thing in the center, and you let that black candle burn outside of your back door. Okay, so that's another thing that you could do for dispelling. So there's multiple things that you can do to get rid of anything that you don't desire. But again, it's all about the mind. I don't want y'all to be so open and so fixated on, somebody cursed me and somebody did something to me. I need to reverse. I need to return to sender. That's a sign for me that you're not doing your protection work. When you're doing your protection work, nothing of harm can hurt you. Nothing of evil can get to you. You know what I'm saying? If you're really doing your protection work, anything that they try to do to you is already going to return unto them. So you don't need a return to sender. Anything they try to do to you is already returned unto them. My question is, have you been doing your protection work? Have you been feeding your ancestors, your egun, like you're supposed to do? Have you been taking care of, your spirit guides? Have you been doing your work with them? If you haven't, you need to go back and appease them first. Before you could do any type of protection work, not protection work, but reversal work, dispelling work, you need to make sure you're good with your spirit guides. You need to make sure you're good with your ancestors, you know, and anybody who doesn't have an altar yet, that's cool. That's cool. Anybody who doesn't have an altar yet, that's cool, you know. But the thing about it is, you could still feed your ancestors and not necessarily have an altar. You could go to a tree and put some food down and feed your ancestors. You could cut up a piece of fruit and go release it into the water to feed your ancestors. You could go outside and pour some juice in the grass or some water in the grass to feed your ancestors. You don't have to have an altar to commune with and to feed your ancestors, but you just need to go out and feed them. Give unto the earth to feed your ancestors. For me personally, I advise doing that before I advise putting food on an altar. If anybody doesn't have an altar yet, I advise that you go outside and start just once a day or whenever your spirit leads, pour a little water in the grass in honor of your spirit guides and your ancestors. Pour some fruit juice out. Cut up an orange or an apple and go put it at the base of a tree. You know, I highly, highly, highly advise that if you have any relationship or desiring a relationship with your ancestors, but you're not ready to start an altar yet, go to nature first. That's your first gateway. Go to nature first, and then you'll be able to do that. What do we do with our letters to our ancestors if we don't have an altar? You release it. So you will release it. Also, it depends on what's in the letter. But if you don't have an altar, you could release it to the water. So you could, fold it up into a real tiny little piece and release it into a body of water. I don't advise burning it. It's not that burning it is a negative thing. But for me personally, and you do what your spirit leads, but for me personally, when I burn something, I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't want any residue of it left. I'm releasing it to let it go. I don't want any parts of it. When I'm recycling something, when I'm releasing something to the water, when I'm leaving it at a tree, that's with the intention that it will multiply. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm burning, I'm releasing, I'm letting it go. It's dissipating. It is ash. It is done. When I'm recycling it, when I'm releasing it to the water, when I'm leaving it at a tree, when I'm feeding it back to the earth, when I'm feeding it back to the water, that's with the intention for it to multiply and become more. You see, so when I'm setting intentions of manifestation, water, earth, when I'm releasing and I want no more parts of it, bury it at a cemetery or close to a cemetery, leave it at the crossroads, or burn it. And that's what I'll do. If you use biodegradable paper, you can up it in your plant. I guess you may keep it in your plant. Yes, Rain. That's another good thing to do if you have house plants. And that's another good easy way to feed spirit and to feed ancestors, is simply watering your plants. Watering your plants is another good way. Just water those plants. And that's a good way to feed right there. Okay. So when you got a strong relationship with your spirit guides, with your ancestors, they will tell you who's trying to do something to you and when they're trying to do it and what they're trying to do. They will come to you and give you multiple signs. They will tell you what is going on. And sometimes it'll even be before it comes to your conscious attention. When you got a good relationship with your spirit guides, with your ancestors, they're going to tell you. And that's why I said you don't have to worry. But you do have to listen. When they tell you to get rid of somebody, get rid of them. When they tell you to cut somebody off, cut them off. When they tell you to set a boundary, set a boundary. You have to listen to them. You got to heed their warnings, because they are all your spirit guides, your ancestors. Their job is to protect you. That's their job in spirit realm. That's how they elevate in spirit realm. Their job is to cover you and to guide you, but it's your job to listen to them. So when your spirit guides came to you and they gave you that warning, and they showed you what that person was, it's your job to cut that person off. It's your job to make sure that person is never welcome back in your home again. It's your job to make sure you don't ever answer their phone. That's your job. They did their job when they gave you that warning. And they always gonna do their job. They always gonna tell you in a dream, give you a sign, a symbol. They always gonna tell you when somebody trying to do something to you. It's your job to do your own, your part, your workings.